The first point that I would like to mention here is, instead of constantly networking, try to provide some solitude for yourself. Even though networking is a great thing to do, no doubt about that, but I must admit that my best ideas in life and in business come from, creating space for yourself and being surrounded by nobody. And if you are surrounded by nature like this, in a solitude, I think especially for introverts, it's a great way. Just be in your own space and create space for great ideas to come. So if you're an introvert and you think it's a good idea, let me know in the comments. And if not, also let me know what works for you. Another idea, which could be also quite unusual, is to see things as an experiment and don't have expectations. Because you always expecting, you make a post and you expect likes, you make a project and you expect everything. And it's good to plan, it's good to have a plan, but this expectation thing. And when you look at everything as an experience, let's do that and let's see. We don't know the results, but we are going to see that for sure. Then everything is more like a game in a way, and also everything becomes like a learning process, which it should be. Whichever experience in business and life, be good or bad. Very often we learn more from bad experience, actually. Don't you think so? Let me know if you think differently. It's just don't expect, just experiment. The next point is to build creative recovery into your schedule. Block time just to recharge your creative energy. And you shouldn't also feel guilty about this. It's not being lazy, it's not being not disciplined or something. It's actually giving space for your also brain to relax and to be more sharp, more clear, and more productive. It's not only for the body, but also for the brain and for your mind and for your soul. Another tip is constantly reinvent yourself. It can be on a regular basis. It can be every week, every month, or at least every year. You think who is that you are, What is that essence in you? What is that person? You can be whatever you want, basically. And I'm feeling this transformation I've made for myself over the years. Also on this YouTube channel, for example. If you watch some videos of mine from few years ago, you would probably not recognize me in some of those videos, because I've become a different person. I feel different. And this also brings me to the next point, that define your success not by metrics, but by how you feel. It's not about how many likes or how much money. For example, I might be feeling very very great in what I am, or I might be feeling, miserable in the same situation. And you can sit in a castle and feel miserable, no matter how much, whatever you have, and it's really like that. It's not about how much people have, possessions and, likes and so on. If they're able to enjoy life, if they're able to make this world a better place, if they're able to influence others for the better, if they're making a difference in people's lives, for example. So it's not about metrics anyway. And some people have less possessions, but more freedom in life and more interesting experiences, and this way more meaningful life. Yeah? And actually, this is my approach. I'm all about freedom. Everything that brings you to becoming more free is a good thing. So if you are into building freedom in life, then really consider subscribing to this channel. And I would like to ask you to give this video a like if you watch that far. It means you like it, so that YouTube algorithm will show it to other people who can benefit from this, me sharing my experience of being, not very mainstream in some ways of being myself and not like everybody else is actually a good thing. I always thought. But sometimes when it comes to building businesses, people just copy each other, but again, consider unconventional ways of having success in life and being truly happy and free. I would love to hear from you in the comments if this video was useful, if you found any value. I would love to hear your thoughts about it. So, see you there. Good luck.